Hello and welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms video. Today I'm going to be talking about how do you want to use your gems and speedups when you're developing your character. So, as we talk about this, I want you to keep in mind your spend level as well as your time devotion because we're going to talk a lot about gems and speedups, right? So if you're able to be on enough to chain for 4 hours a day and you're doing all the Iron Hand ballers, not to mention spending, if you do that, you'll have a very different look than someone who logs on once or twice a day and is free to play, right? So let's get right into this. I've talked a lot about VIP in my other videos, so today I'm actually going to start by talking about speed ups. So the first thing I wanted to say is there is value in waiting and not using them. So first off, you get different runes, right? We all know this. So right now, for instance, my kingdom has level 3
2.
runes, but level 2 altars, and you get these 7% boosts. Level 1, you get 5% boost, as you can see here. 5%, 7% may sound decent, but once we get to here, I migrated, so I'm still working on fog. Once we get these, you not only get these tier 3, but you can get tier 4s, right? And that's a huge help. And then once you're in the center here, I can't see it yet. It's right here. But when you have your Lost Temple, and you kill these Guardians, you get both these runes, which are again the same as the other shrines, that they have a chance to drop. But you also get legendary runes. So you can get 10 to 15% reduction, whereas right now I get 7 or 5, right? So that's a huge difference. You also get these things called titles, which can drop another 5 to 10%. You also get these things called kingdom buffs, which can be another 10%. And then you're also working on your academy stuff. You can see here, I am obviously doing the smart thing and pushing my engineering tech, my mathematics tech. I pushed my writing tech, my masonry tech. All these things are max or working on it because they reduce the speed I need. What does that do, right? That means I get more speed ups, right? Spending less speed ups is equivalent to getting more speed ups because you're not using it. So the other thing you want to, consider is when you're actually going to use them. For instance, this has 3 days, 22 hours left. It gives me, I believe, about 81,000 power. This should be timed right now for our power event. I am, never going to win it. I'm a free to play. But if I get top 20, top 50, something in those range, likely top 50, I will get, more items, gems, maybe heads that I need. These are all value that I'm not going to get if I say finish this right now with speed ups. So you want to plan when you're pushing. You want to consider that you do benefit more from delaying your push till later and, make your decisions based on that. Because you're also going to be needing a ton of speed ups for healing, right? An unreal amount. And the more you have, the more you can play. Because you could have 8 farm accounts given your resources, but if you're out of speed ups, you're done. So next, I'm going to talk about something that a lot of people have heard before, which is VIP and gems and how you're going to spend your gems. So obviously there's a huge hint there, right? You have priorities in VIP. When you first make your character, every single gem should be dumped straight into VIP. Not for this, but to get your second builder queue. And everyone will do this. It's not that expensive. Even for free to play, I got this on like day 1 or 2. So everyone should be pushing this really fast. And then you'll slowly work your way up. And you see good buffs along the way. But you're going to keep pushing towards here. Because you get that next big bonus of 1 legendary head a day. And the gold key is even nice. Not to mention, again, more building speed, etc. So why, when you look at my gems, do I have 28,000 gems? That's because there's no point in putting it in here. Why? Right? That contradicts everything I just said. It's because I can't get to that next tier, which is going to get me value and buffs, and we have that more than gems event. which gives you several gold heads, teleports, several 3-hour speed ups of your choice, stars, all these things just for using gems during the event. So I'm planning to save my gems here, all to do VIP during that event. And that event lets you do it in increments, right? You have a 7k gold head cost you could do per the 2 days, both of which give you gold heads, or you can max it out at 25k gems each day for more gold heads. There's some rewards in between there, but you're going to want to choose between the two. Personally, I think it makes more sense in the beginning of the game, if you aren't able to get it instantly, to wait and to get that 50,000 and invest it. You also can predict it, right? So let's say I would honestly advise you, if I could get to VIP 10 this second, I would. But if more than gems was say tomorrow, that means I'm only going to get one gold head. Whereas if I had just waited for tomorrow and spent the 50,000 gems or whatever in the event, I would have gotten a significant amount more of not only, gold heads, but also just teleports and useful items. You can get days of speed ups there. And all these things that you're getting for free as a bonus, right? Very helpful for your account and keeping it going, keeping it pushed. Now, this is something you also want to consider as you keep going, right? You get troop attack here, but as you go to 12, you get 2 gold heads a day. And then if you're more so later in KVKs, not KVK 1 for free to play at least, VIP 14 you'll continue to. Once you are doing the VIP and you have it at least at 10, you can consider doing some minimum spins in stuff like Esmeralda. I think that you can consider doing some minimal spins in things like Egg Event. I do think that that's a little bit more of a questionable approach. I would almost rather, stick to the windswept gear, the purple gear you may pull, and go from there. Or, you may get a good 7,000 gem holiday event, which are some of the best, if not the best, event in the entire game when you get those 7,000 gem events. So, all these things are things you want to save for, you want to consider. And I always go back to the advice I give in most of my videos: do not invest until you know what you are doing. You should be able to point at something you did, something you spent, some decision you made, and say, hey, I did that because of this, right? I did my VIP 10 today because I know the more than gems is because I know the more than gems is 14 days away, which means I could get 14 gold heads passively, not to mention the other buffs, right? So these are just the type of things you want to consider when you're pushing your account, when you're saving up your speed ups. Can you save it for when you have more tech done, 15% runes, 10% titles or 5% titles, 10% kingdom buffs? There's other things too, such as structures, all these things. That's like 50% reduction that I don't have right now as I'm doing my speed ups. So again, as I've also said, it's always a balancing act. You don't want to be going into your, zone 4 at 5 million power because you saved everything. It takes a lot of time to get the helps, do the pushes. You want to spread out the pushes throughout some events to score well. And with all that considered, you also want to, have a good plan for the timing of these things. And I don't just mean events, but I mean with fighting. If you do have something like a civil war brewing and you have to fight, like they're going to be the aggressors against you and you're out of shields or something, like for instance, I believe I have run out of shields. So I would have to consider fighting or leaving alliance and, going elsewhere. Or, I could do a little push, be a little stronger, be confident in my city, set up my wall right in this hypothetical situation. So, with all that said, I really hope you got some value out of this video. It was a little bit of a, run through things I've talked about before, but it's also a good reminder as far as all the other stuff you can get. And I thought about this because I'm hitting 9 on my engineering, hitting 4 on my mathematics. I keep hearing all my peers getting tier 4. Look how low I am. I've done nothing, right? So with that said, I am going to catch up to a lot of them, especially the low spenders free to play, because of this, because I have 4% reduction here, I have that. I also did mention it earlier, right? But the academy itself, when I get it to 25, will give me 25% reduction. The Alliance Center itself, yeah, right here. The Alliance Center itself, right now I'm at 22. I'll get another 8% of helps. All these things, it's easily over 50% more from where I'm at. And this is just such good value that you don't want your account missing out on. If you feel like you got something out of this video today, please do leave a like, subscribe. I'm doing daily videos. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow.